Hey, welcome to Reddit Reveals. Get comfortable. This story is worth your time. She didn't notice me at first. I was 3 stools down, nursing a beer I didn't want, watching her reflection in the mirror behind the bar. She was smiling at him, playing with her hair, laughing too loud. That kind of laugh she reserves for people she wants to impress. That fake floaty thing. Then her eyes dipped, landed on the ring. The one I'd just set on the counter, quiet as a whisper. She blinked. Once, twice, and then she stopped smiling. You ever watch someone's whole act fall apart in under 2 seconds? It was like a curtain dropped mid-show, and the lights came up on the wires. She knew exactly what it meant. He didn't. Not yet. He was still looking at her, confused. But she knew. And she didn't look around to find me either. That was the best part. She just stared at the ring like it was a live grenade. I got the idea 3 nights ago, after I followed her out of our house at 10:40 in the evening. She said she was going to Walgreens. I watched her take the long way, past 2 open ones, to pull into the back parking lot of a Marriott. 5 minutes later, Captain Tightshirt showed up in a Mustang that had no business being on the road past 2008. They kissed before he was even out of the car. You'd think that would have been the moment. You know, the one where I storm out, scream, cry, cause a scene. But it wasn't. I just sat in my truck in the dark, engine off, and started planning something better. I didn't want revenge. I wanted clarity. I wanted her to feel the twist in her gut I'd been feeling for weeks. So yeah, I followed her again tonight, waited until she ordered that overpriced cocktail with a rosemary twig sticking out of it, watched her touch his arm, laugh at his lame joke, lean in like he was interesting, and then I walked up, calm. No yelling, no drama, just the ring. I slid it in front of her glass and turned away. She didn't call my name, didn't make a scene. She just sat there frozen, staring at it, lips parted like she was about to say something, but forgot the words. I didn't give her time to remember them. I didn't go home right away. I sat in my truck for maybe 30 minutes, parked down the block from the bar with the engine running, and my fingers locked so tight around the steering wheel, they went numb. It wasn't until my phone buzzed that I finally blinked. Rachel, where are you? Rachel, are you okay? Rachel, Dennis, I saw the ring. Can we talk? She waited 20 minutes before sending those. Probably had to sober up enough to type without misspelling something. I didn't answer. I didn't block her either. I wanted to see what excuse she'd reach for first. Anger? Tears? Silence? She picked guilt. Of course she did. When I finally walked into the house, it was just past midnight. Porch light on, her car in the driveway. She beat me home. I guess Loverboy dropped her off early once her marriage popped up on the menu. I half expected to find her sitting on the couch with the lights off like they do in movies, but no. She was in the kitchen, reheating pizza, like it was any other night. Hey, she said, voice soft, rehearsed. Can we talk? Sure. I didn't sit. I know what you're thinking. You sure? I cut her off. Because you're going to have to narrow it down. I've been thinking a lot of things lately. She winced, and for a second, I thought she might actually be about to confess. I almost wanted her to. Just say it. Rip it open. Tell me you messed up. Tell me it was one night. Tell me anything but that look on your face, like I'm the one overreacting. It's not what it looked like, she said finally. I laughed. I didn't want to, but it just came out. Loud, sharp, mean. You were holding his hand. You laughed at his jokes. You let him tuck your hair behind your ear like you were some college girl on her first date. You think that doesn't look like something? She opened her mouth, then closed it again. She took a breath and tried to regroup, but I was already past done. Who is he? I asked. She didn't answer. I stepped forward. You want to tell me? Or you want me to post the photos and let the internet figure it out for you? That got her. Her eyes widened. Real fear. Like she suddenly realized this wasn't just some fight we'd get over in the morning. This was real and permanent. I met him at the gym, she muttered. You mean our gym? The one I pay for? She nodded. How long? Rachel hesitated. Don't lie. 6 months. I nodded slowly. My stomach turned, but I didn't flinch. You told me you were seeing your sister those nights. I was sometimes, she said. Good grief. She came around the counter like she was going to touch my arm, but I stepped back. Don't. Dennis, I didn't plan this. It just happened. Oh yeah, 6 months of sneaking around just happened. You accidentally booked hotel rooms? You accidentally whispered I love you into his ear? That's crazy, Rachel. You should talk to a doctor about that condition. I didn't say I love him, she snapped. And there it was, her real voice cracking through the mask. So that's what mattered. That I didn't think she loved him. Not that she betrayed me, lied to me, humiliated me. Just that I didn't mislabel her affair. I didn't say anything else. I grabbed my keys off the table and turned toward the door. Where are you going? She asked. Out, away. Somewhere that doesn't smell like lies. Then I slammed the door behind me, hard enough to make her jump. I ended up sleeping in the back seat of my truck outside a 24-hour laundromat. Didn't even recline the seat all the way. Just sat there, shoes on, jacket zipped, eyes wide open. At some point around 4 a.m, I must have dozed off, because I woke up with the imprint of my keys dug into my thigh, and the sun bleeding through the windshield. No missed calls. One unread text from Rachel. It just said, I'm sorry. No period. Just that. I didn't answer. I wasn't ready. Not to talk, not to scream, not to do anything except figure out who on earth this guy was. The man with the man bun. The one with the 2008 Mustang that still had the dealership plate frame on it like he was proud of the thing. So I drove back to the Marriott. Same parking lot. Same spot she'd parked in the night I caught her. I waited. Figured if she met him here before, she'd meet him again. People like that don't stop just because they've been caught. They just get sneakier. I was right. 2 nights later, she showed up again. Not in her gym clothes this time. No. This time she was done up. Hair curled. Light makeup. Heels. The kind she used to only wear for anniversary dinners or weddings. She didn't even try to hide it now. She pulled in, waited in the car. 3 minutes later, he showed up. Same guy, the same old Mustang. But this time, I got a better look. Late 40s, salt and pepper beard. Too tan for January in Nebraska. He walked with that swagger guys only have when they're used to getting away with things. Like he already thought he was better than me, even though he didn't know I existed. I followed him. Not right away. Let them go inside first. Wait 10 minutes. Then I pulled out behind them. I wasn't going to cause a scene. Not yet. I just wanted to know what kind of guy she threw our marriage away for. What kind of man beats 11 years of trust with a few drinks and a hotel room. Turns out he worked at a local real estate office. Drove to the same building every morning like clockwork. I sat across the street 2 days in a row just to be sure. The second day I saw him walk out with another woman. Different from Rachel, blonde, younger, wearing his coat. That's when it hit me. She wasn't the only one. She thought she was special. That she'd found someone who saw her, who made her feel wanted. The usual fantasy. But this guy, he was a pro. Probably had 3 more lined up just like her. He knew how to keep them hooked and spinning, like he was doing them a favor by giving them a piece of his attention. The second night, I saw him kiss the blonde in the parking lot. Same move he pulled with Rachel. Same hand on the back of her neck. Same cocky lean-in. It was like watching a replay. I took pictures. Every angle. Him. Her. The kiss. The license plate. Everything. Then I drove home, parked in the driveway, walked inside, and dropped the photos right on Rachel's pillow. She didn't ask where I got the photos, didn't scream, didn't deny it. She just stared at them, sitting cross-legged in the middle of the bed like a kid caught sneaking cookies. That silence was worse than any fight. I was standing there waiting for the bomb to go off, and she just kept flipping through them like it was a yearbook. "Who's the blonde?" she finally asked, not even looking at me. "Does it matter?" I said. "He kissed her the same way he kissed you. Same hand placement. The same smug smirk on his face. You're not the only one, Rachel. You're just one of many." Her lip trembled, but she bit it down. She didn't get to cry. Not this time. "You thought he loved you. Thought he was going to leave his complicated situation and run off into the sunset with you?" She still wouldn't look up. "You weren't his escape. You were his hobby." That one landed. Her shoulders curled in a little, like I'd punched her without touching her. Good. That was the first honest reaction I'd seen from her since the night I left the ring on the bar. Then she said something that stopped me cold. "You think I didn't know that?" I blinked. "What?" She finally looked at me. Her eyes were red, not from crying, but from holding it in too long. "I knew," she said. "I saw the way he acted. I'm not stupid, Dennis. I knew I wasn't the only one. I just didn't care." "You didn't care," she nodded slowly. "I needed to feel wanted. I didn't care if it was fake. I just needed something." That broke something in me. Not because she said it, but because I believed her. So there it was. After all the lying, all the late-night disappearances, all the hotel receipts and whispered texts, this wasn't some whirlwind romance she'd been swept into. It was a transaction. Attention for attention. Use for use. Two broken people pretending they weren't. I left the room without another word. Went down to the basement, sat on the cold concrete floor with my back against the dryer, and tried to breathe through the part of my chest that felt like it had caved in. You ever realize too late that you spent years being background noise in your own house? That night, I packed a bag. Just clothes, chargers, passport, the basics. Didn't even tell her I was going. She was still in the bedroom when I zipped it up. I didn't want to fight. I didn't want more confessions. I just wanted out. But before I left, I went back upstairs and set the iPad on the kitchen counter, the one with the synced messages, unlocked, opened to her text with the guy, the whole thread, and taped on the screen was a note in Sharpie that said, "Tell her the same lies you told me." Then I walked out again. For real this time. I wasn't even a full day into staying at that cheap extended stay off Interstate 80 before something strange happened. It was about 8:30 the next morning. I had a coffee in one hand, my phone in the other, flipping through job alerts I wasn't going to apply for. That's when I noticed the black Jeep across the parking lot. It was parked nose out, tinted windows, engine running. Just sitting there. The kind of idling that meant someone was watching something. Or someone. At first I thought it might be some guest waiting on a friend, but 15 minutes passed, then 20, and the Jeep never moved. No one got in, no one got out. I stepped out onto the sidewalk, pretending to stretch my legs, and kept glancing in that direction. The second I turned my head, the driver's side window cracked open, maybe 3 inches. A cigarette lit up inside, couldn't see the face. Just that slow glow of someone pulling in a drag and watching me right back. That's when the thought hit me. Was this about Rachel? Had he sent someone? The guy clearly had other women. Maybe one of them figured out what he was doing and decided to take matters into her own hands. Maybe she thought I was part of it. Or maybe Rachel finally snapped and hired someone to follow me, see what I'd do with the photos. I went back inside, but I left the curtains open just enough so I could keep an eye on the Jeep. It sat there for almost an hour. Then, without warning, It pulled out slow, crept around the far edge of the building, and disappeared. That night, I decided to do something I probably shouldn't have. I went to the real estate office where the guy worked. Not to talk, just to see. I wanted a name, a full name. If he was going to wreck my marriage, I certainly deserved to know what to call him. There was a flyer taped to the glass door. Todd Wexler, Senior Property Manager. Right there. Same face, same smirk. I took a photo and left. Back at the hotel, I ran a background search. And that's when things got real weird. Todd Wexler wasn't married, but he had been. Twice. Both ex-wives filed restraining orders. One of them moved out of state. The most recent one? Her name was Jenna. Same first name as the contact saved in Rachel's phone under J Nail Salon. I checked again. Couldn't be a coincidence the number matched. Rachel had been talking to her, or at least someone pretending to be her. I felt my stomach drop. This wasn't just an affair anymore. This was something bigger, messier, the kind of mess you don't walk away from clean. I didn't sleep that night. Just laid on the stiff hotel mattress, phone in my hand, staring at that contact name over and over, trying to figure out what Rachel had gotten herself into. The next morning, I drove straight to the house. Not to talk, not to fight, to see if she was safe. I didn't knock. I had a key, and even though it felt wrong to use it, I still lived there, technically. The dogs barked when I stepped in, tails thumping, clueless. Everything else looked the same. Mail stacked on the counter, her running shoes kicked off by the door, the same candle burning in the entryway. Like nothing had happened, like she hadn't detonated our marriage and walked away from the wreckage with barely a scratch. She wasn't home. I knew that already. I'd checked her location on Find My before leaving the hotel. Gym, supposedly. Or maybe another one of her errands. I had about 40 minutes, maybe less. I wasn't there to trash anything. I wasn't even there to confront her. I needed answers. Real ones. Not her version, not Todd's, just the raw, unfiltered truth before either of them had a chance to rewrite it. Her laptop was still in the office. Same spot on the desk. Plugged in, untouched. I sat down and opened it. She never changed the password. Same one she'd used since 2014. Her first dog's name and our old zip code. The desktop loaded and my hand started shaking. I wasn't proud of what I was doing, but I also didn't care anymore. She'd already crossed the line. I was just catching up. First, I opened her email. Nothing jumped out at first. Work stuff, promotions, receipts. Then I searched his name, Todd. Only one result came up from a month ago. It was a confirmation email for a wire transfer. $2,000 sent to a Todd W. from her personal checking. Why would she be sending him money? I checked the PDF attachment. In the notes, repayment for January. Repayment? For what? I dug deeper, opened her notes app. She had a folder named Groceries, but it was locked. I tried a few passwords. On the third one, it opened, and inside was a list that didn't look like groceries at all. Dates, dollar amounts, times, and initials. Every entry labeled J or T. One line read, January 11th, $500 T. Avoid 3 in the afternoon. Don't use backlot. Another, December 22nd, $350 J. Delete all call logs. I sat there reading line after line, realizing I didn't know this person at all. Not even a little. This wasn't just cheating. This was coordination, secrecy, planning. And the worst part, whatever it was, she was still in the middle of it. I backed out of the notes, heart pounding, and opened her messages again. Searched Jenna. The last conversation was from 3 days ago. Rachel. He's digging. He knows something. Jenna. Let him. If he finds out, it's on you. Rachel. What if he talks to her? Jenna. Then I fix it. That was it. I stood up, closed the laptop, and wiped the keyboard down out of instinct. I didn't know who Jenna really was or what she meant by fix it, but I wasn't about to sit around and find out the hard way. I took the laptop with me, walked out, locked the door behind me, and didn't look back. I drove straight to my cousin's place across town. Jacob's the kind of guy who keeps a burner phone for no reason and has a lockbox full of flash drives he doesn't label. I knew if I told him everything, he'd either try to help or talk me out of doing something stupid. Either way, I couldn't handle this alone anymore. I didn't say much when I showed up. Just handed him the laptop and said, I need you to go through everything. Email, notes, messages, browser history. I need to know what she's into. And who Jenna is. He raised an eyebrow, but didn't ask questions. Give me a few hours, he said, already powering it on. While he dug through Rachel's digital footprint, I drove around the city like a ghost. I must have passed every intersection twice. My thoughts kept looping. What was the money for? Who was Jenna to Todd? Was Rachel being threatened or helping them? When Jacob finally called, his voice was tight. Man, I don't know what this is, but it's not just about cheating. I met him back at his place. He had a flash drive in his hand. You're going to want to hear this. Turns out Rachel had recorded a voice memo. It was buried in a folder named Insurance, not synced to the cloud, local only. Like she was hiding it, even from herself. Jacob played it through his speakers. Her voice came through shaky, not emotional, nervous, like she didn't want to be caught recording it. It's January 19th. I'm recording this in case something happens to me. Todd's been asking for more money. Says it's not blackmail, but it is. Jenna said she'd handle it, but I don't trust her anymore. If Dennis finds out about Arizona, I'm done. If he ever finds out what we did out there, she stopped. Cut off. That was the whole recording. I stood there, frozen, staring at the floor like it might explain what she was talking about. What happened in Arizona? Jacob asked. I don't know, I said. But the words felt wrong even as I said them. I did know something happened out there. Rachel had flown to Phoenix last summer for what she called a wellness retreat with her friend Katie. She posted pictures of hiking trails and green smoothies and a meditation circle. But now I remembered something that didn't make sense. 2 days after she got back, I got a call from our bank. Someone had tried to withdraw nearly $5,000 from our joint savings. The attempt was flagged because it came from a gas station ATM in some rundown part of Tucson. When I asked Rachel about it, she said it must have been fraud. We canceled the card, changed the PIN, moved on. But what if it wasn't fraud? What if Arizona was where this whole thing started? I told Jacob to copy everything. All the files, all the messages. I wanted backups. I didn't trust Rachel, and I certainly didn't trust Jenna or Todd. Something told me this was bigger than an affair. It felt coordinated and messy. Then I asked him for one more favor. Track down Jenna. He nodded. Give me a day. I left without saying anything else, got in my truck, and headed straight to Rachel's sister's house. If anyone knew the truth about Arizona, it was going to be her. Rachel's sister didn't slam the door in my face. That was a good start. Melissa always liked me, or at least she used to before this whole mess exploded. When she saw me on the porch, she didn't say much. Just stepped aside and let me in like she'd been expecting it. I sat down on her couch, and before I even asked the question, she sighed and said, I told her not to go through with it. Go through with what? I asked. She rubbed her face with both hands, then looked me dead in the eye. The money. The whole thing in Arizona was about money, Dennis. It wasn't a retreat. It was a scam. That word hung in the air like smoke. She and Todd flew out there to meet with some guy Jenna knew, Melissa continued. Supposedly some investment opportunity. Fast cash, high return, except it was all fake. They gave him $5,000 each, and poof, he vanished. They thought they could flip it, pay off credit cards, get ahead. Instead, they lost everything. I blinked. She used our money? She didn't tell you because she planned to make it back before you noticed, but Todd, he made it worse, told her he had a way to recover the loss if she helped him out. Selling info, targeting clients from his real estate work, fake listings, fake escrow requests, identity fraud. I felt like I was breathing through a straw. She didn't just cheat on you, Dennis. She partnered with him. She was in it. That's when it all clicked. The payments, the messages, the phone calls under fake names. Rachel wasn't just being used. She was helping pull the strings. And when it all started to collapse, she panicked, tried to play victim, record voice memos, pretend like she wasn't all in, but it was too late. I thanked Melissa and left. I didn't tell her what I planned next, didn't need to. I already knew what had to happen. 2 days later, I had everything. The emails, the transfers, the messages to Jenna, and a full list of names they targeted through Todd's real estate business. Jacob helped me package it all up. We sent it to 3 places: the police, Todd's broker agency, and Rachel's employer. She worked in finance. One look at that file and her career would be toast. I didn't confront her. No big final scream. No divorce papers slammed on the table. Just silence. I let the walls fall in without warning. That morning, she showed up to work. She didn't know her life was about to end sideways. By noon, she was fired. By 5, her face was on local news. Quote, Todd's office was raided the next day. Jenna vanished. Her number went dead. I never saw Rachel in person again. She tried to call, of course, left voicemails, played every card: regret, panic, blame, even nostalgia. Said she missed us, that she messed up, said she never meant to hurt me. I never responded. Last I heard, she moved back in with her parents in Iowa. Couldn't get another job in her field. Might be facing charges if the state pushes it. I don't know. I don't care. As for me, I left Omaha, moved down to Asheville, North Carolina, started fresh, found a job that doesn't involve sitting behind a desk pretending to be okay. I work outside now, with my hands. It's not glamorous, but it's real. And that's all I want. Last week, I finally took off my wedding ring for good. Dropped it into a river. Didn't even watch where it landed. Was this the justice he deserved? Or would you have taken it further? Before you go, where are you listening from? City or country is enough. Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you followed this story to the end.